What's up, my current and future Subtimber subs? I'm the reason WotC creates new sets, brewer and MTGO player extraordinaire, aspiring Spike, and welcome to my Shark Typhoon. You know the drill, Spikelings. I've got a hot new brew coming away, a hot new brew that we've already played once, and it's almost exactly the same. In Modern with Soul of Windgrace Gen Saga, hopefully this kind soul will grace us with many wins, but if not, maybe the real wins are the new decks made along the way. Regardless, please sub up to 30% off during September, and like, follow, comment, etc. Okay, Soul of Windgrace this, in Gen Saga. This is the second time we've played it. It went pretty well the first time, but I think we only played like 2 leagues. And I'm pretty interested in playing some more, continuing to form the opinion on the card. I will say that every time we played in Cast Soul, it felt very, very strong. I remember it was phenomenal, but it really only, I think we only drew it in Cast in like 2 matches. Maybe we only played 1 league. I can't really remember. That being said, a lot of decks being played the last couple weeks. I'm also wanting to try 1 copy of Squee, Dubious Monarch. I could see ending up wanting to play more copies of this card in this archetype. I'm thinking about maybe also playing this card in the Rakdos deck I usually like to play. This is a Goblin Rabblemaster effectively with Escape. This is effectively a Goblin Rabblemaster with Escape, and maybe it says something about like the state of the current modern format where this is just not a card that's generating that much buzz. But it's a card I really want to cast, and I will also say that I am very interested in playing some more mana sinks in the deck. Oh, in addition, so I also cut the Brainstorm for the Springleaf Drum, and here's kind of my theory, my thinking on that. So before Soul of Windgrace, I really liked 1 Brainstone because a lot of times in this deck you can be very flooded because you're Wrenn and Sixing, picking up a lot of lands. You play 24 lands. You can be very flooded, and so one Brainstone to tutor up. Hello, dogs. 1 Brainstone to tutor up and unflood is nice. Soul of Windgrace, as once you get that in play, you want to have a bunch of lands in your hand to discard the Soul's ability. So that's why I've cut that for today. Okay, let's keep this hand. Ordinary Hands gifting us gifting a sub to Vaz. Thank you. Frieza with the 19 months. Resub and you play Squee. And Gucci with the 6. Thank you. Athena opened the door to get in the room here. Lucy, do you want to get in your chair? Huh? Do you want to get in your chair? Yeah, come on, get in your chair. Yeah, good Lucy. Good Lucy. She loves her chair. And Athena, and the rare Athena sighting. Okay, let me give Lucy her treats for joining us today. Thank you, Lucy. 1 for Athena for just kind of existing. Yeah. Good job, Athena. Yeah, we did get a new dog. Her name is Lucy. She's kind of like a puppy boxer terrier, cutie wooty patootie. Discarding Grinding Station in this deck is always awkward because they're just kind of happy enough to Underworld Breach and replay it. I think I'll take the Aether Spellbomb. Don't care about this Ragavan very much. I will probably prioritize killing it next turn so that they don't get to use the Mox Amber for mana, though. So they drew a second Mishra's Bauble for turn. And they don't play the Ragavan, that's interesting. So they must like the top card. This frees up our turn for Tarmogoyf. Now we're just 1 land away from the Soul, too. Do you have a name for the 2 dogs? Yeah, I guess we don't have a nickname for both of them. I've just been saying dogs at home. So they drew the card they liked off the first bauble, took it to the peak, didn't like it. And known cards are Flooded Strand, Ragavan, Grinding Station, Mox Amber, and then 3 unknowns. Deck tick for Coop. Abzan tokens. We'll get into it. Hold on. Okay. There's the grinding station. We are dead to land Underworld Breach, which is not an amazing place to be. All right, do we terminate or do we lightning bolt? Do we stay or do we go? I think I'm going to terminate with and hope to have the potential to lightning bolt my opponent for lethal. I think it makes sense with Goyf becoming a 5/6, so they're at 18. You know, that's 3 attacks in 1 bolt. Get punished by, like, exactly Urza Saga, I think. Okay, there's problems with this archetype. When you play a deck like Tokens and you play no amount of interaction outside of Rod and Reunion, you're not playing any Thoughtseizes, you're not playing any Inquisitions of Kozilek, the issue arises that your clock is very, very slow in Modern. You are not going to be able to reasonably race, sorry for rhyming, but you're not going to be able to race any of the opposing big mana combo decks, very fast clocks in the format. You're going to have our time racing aggro decks. And I think, without any interaction to slow those styles down, it almost feels like you're just automatically losing to decks like Tron, Titan, Belcher, Affinity. Yeah, let me steal a Scalding Tarn from them. It's unlikely to matter, but this could, like, theoretically be, like, if they're one, like, escape short. It's unlikely to matter. So, if you're going to play a deck like this, you really need to be, like, main decking 4 Thoughtseizes to have a chance to interact and slow these kind of decks down. Maybe even some, like, 2 Inquisitions as well. In addition, I think Rod and Reunion is not a playable card. This doesn't make a regular zombie, it makes a decayed zombie. It gets sacrificed when you attack, and the fact that it flashes back is nice for sure, but I think that overall this is a card I'm evaluating to be too weak. Looks like we're likely dead. I think Stronghold Arena is a very slow card that is very likely to be a card you don't want to play 4 copies of. You could play 1 or 2, but it's very awkward to draw multiple copies of this early. Resolute Reinforcement seems worse to me than, like, the 2 mana card that just makes 2 human tokens, because you'd rather just this be another token than a excuse me, non-token creature. I would probably play like 3 or 4 Chatterfings, though. That seems like one of your most powerful cards in the deck. Okay, so they get to loop through their deck here. They get to net mana. Yeah, we're dead. We're dead. Okay. We're dead. So I'm going to bring in the Pithing Needle. I'm going to bring in both Alpine Moons. I'm going to bring in at least 1 extra Boseiju, maybe 2 extra Boseijus. I think I'm cutting both Terminates. I don't love the 2 mana removal that much. Doesn't seem like a good Squee matchup. Maybe we'll cut a Din. I feel like a lot of times we're going to play one of the Boseijus of the land. We can play 25 3 Boseijus. I feel like we could probably cut a Soul as well, although maybe we cut the Shadowspear. Yeah, seems like a good spot to cut the Shadowspear. 1 Pyrite Spellbomb is maybe fine. Hearse. The problem with Hearse is, like, it's not like it doesn't really stop their combo. Like, it just, like, yeah, it's I don't think it's meaningful enough graveyard hate to stop their combo usually. Void Mirror? Maybe Void Mirror is a bit better than I guess it does stop the combo. It stops all of their 0 drops. Yeah, we already have Needle, Boseiju to break up the combo. Maybe we'll go down a discard spell and play one Mirror. I think that's fine. Wolf gained 16 months and Riot with a 7. I do feel like we're going to be able to outgrind them in most games, and so I think I do agree that being able to stop the combo is pretty relevant. Oh no, I've got a minefield of dogs back here. I can't step, or I'm going to step on one of them. Turn 1 Monkey, pretty good. Is Takenuma too slow to go with Soul? Yeah, I mean, it's not even that good with it, right? Where, like, if you return Takenuma, you can't reuse it or anything. So it looks like a dead monkey. I think I'm probably supposed to play a Saga this turn. And why don't we use the red mana to Alpine Moon their Sagas? Wolfgain 60 months, right at the 7. Aha, thank you to Twitch Prime, appreciate you. Deck more salvage, huh? Yeah, thankfully we've got, you know, fetch lands. So we don't even have to entertain these conversations. Dashing Ragavan, I think that's fine. Exiles of Verdant Catacombs. So Riot with the 7, Baja with the new subscription, Aggro with 11. Thank you, thank you. Why not push? I don't have a black mana. I didn't want to. I couldn't push it. Urza Saga does not tap for black. Put an exile Springleaf Drum. I guess there's a chance I actually get Springleaf Drum myself. Probably should get Needle to stop the combo, but like, I would prefer to not have to use the Boseiju for green mana. I guess I've got, you know, 2 more Boseijus to draw into, and I don't need to Boseiju them very aggressively if I've needled their grinding station. Okay, but there's green mana that makes me not have to use my Boseiju. So I'm gonna Pithing Needle their grinding station. I'm gonna shock, play Nihil Spellbomb, and I'll attack. I understand that my opponent could have Teferi or Ending to get rid of the construct and hit me with Ragavan, but I don't think you're supposed to play that scared, especially when your opponent's life total is pretty low and you just get to put them really on the back foot with this attack. Gucci with the gifted sub, thank you. Shredding. Okay. Their hand must be very weak if they're going to cast Grinding Station into the needle here. Or maybe they just have an answer to the needle, but they're not going to be able to combo this turn. And they both have to have an answer for the needle and be able to beat the Nihil Spellbomb, which is probably not, you know, all that difficult, to be honest. Big draw step. I think Lightning Bolt wins. I think that I'm going to Wrenn and Six, Ping Ragavan, attack with both of my constructs, and I would expect my opponent to not block. Or sorry, I would expect them to block. And that expectation was not met. So now I have the option to Thoughtseize, push on their turn to not let them connive, or Thoughtseize now. I think I'll just Thoughtseize now. They're just so behind. I have now a Spellbomb to answer the Emery activation. Push Monkey and swing. Well, I really thought they were going to chump block with the Emery with this line. If they don't block Run Ping, yeah, I mean, there's no. I feel like if there's almost no chance they just don't block is the thing. If we go push Monkey swing, and then if they do chump block, then the Wrenn and Six isn't doing as much as we might like. So I was just thinking we could just kill all their creatures that turn, and then kill them next turn. I do think I like my sideboard plan. On the draw, I think I might like maybe another discard spell over The third Soul of the third Soul of Windgrace. Thank you, Doc. Bluetron, baby. Back when I used to do donation decks on this channel, I played Mono Bluetron like 3 or 4 times, and boy, did I never understand how any of these decks were built. I always felt like, I mean, this is maybe like, you know, pre-MH2, but I always felt like I wanted to play like 4 Chalice of the Void in the main deck of Bluetron, and I wanted to play, hold on. I'm pretty soft to Ledger Shredder if I play Ragavan on turn 1. I think I'm supposed to Thoughtseize. Okay, it looks like this Ragavan's, you know, not connecting anytime soon. My opponent's Urza Saga is a bit of a problem. If I draw a green source, I guess I can Boseiju it. Guess they don't have a second land. I'm pretty likely to red next turn. We'll take the ending. Hey, play nice, Stop. The main deck Test of Talents, I think, is also like way too big brain, way too like, you know, cheeky. I would play the second Remand over the first Test for Talents every time. Yeah, but I've always in Bluetron, I've always wanted to do like, you know, 4 Shark Typhoon, 4 Remand. That's kind of like, or sorry, 4 Remand, 4 Chalice, 4 Shark Typhoon, and like I just don't love like the random one of Eldrazi's, the one Ugin that seems to be such a staple in Eldrazi Tron, or sorry, in Mono Bluetron. Like why is it always in this archetype one copy of Ugin the Spirit Dragon? You know what I mean? It's like I would love to have a little bit more consistency in the deck. And I think I would be pretty down to cut the Walking Bliss to the Snapcasters, but all the Eldrazi. That's 5 slots for the Test of Talents. That's 6 slots for 2 Remand, 3 Chalice, 2 Typhoons. You need to make 1 more cut for 1 more Typhoon. You can cut the 3rd Dismember. You can cut the 4th Repeal. You can cut the 1 of Ugin. Just be like really mean, lean, and clean. And then like your Tron is powering out exactly your Karn and Shark Typhoons. But you're also not just not getting Tron all that aggressively or consistently, perhaps. Okay, so they still have Unholy Heat here. I like dashing this Ragavan. This means that Ragavan either gets to trade for a Construct token, which I'm happy with. Ragavan gets to trade with the Unholy Heat, which I'm happy with, or I get to connect, which I'm happy with. So that's how I would build the main deck, and you get to trim a lot of the fat. You make the deck a lot more consistent. And you can sideboard Emrakul the Promised End. You could, you know, like 2 of those for like the control and the 4-color matchups. I think that would be pretty good. Yeah, but I just feel like all the Mono Bluetron decks are built like this. This is my Nimble Obstructionist. I get to feel really smart when I cycle this. This is my 1 Negate. This is my 1 Squelch. This is my 1 Dress Down. This is my 1 Ugin. This is my 1 main deck Test of Talents. And all of it is just like, I get to be the big brain Mono Bluetron player. But I think when you build a deck like this, it just feels like you're lowering your win percentage. You know what I mean? They didn't make a token. What are they holding? What are they doing? I guess we could find out. They didn't tear in response. I don't really care if they tear my Saga because I have the Wrenn and Six, I guess. I'll just take an iteration. Yeah. Obviously, I want all the Chalices in the main, so that opens up, like, you know, 1 more sideboard slot for one of the Emrakuls I'm suggesting putting there. I like the Wine Slaver in the sideboard. I like the O-Stone in the sideboard. I like the Bridge. Contortions are fine. Coating's fine. You could consider playing... I do feel like you're maybe missing, like, a card advantage for yourself card. Maybe the Mind Slaver is that. I'm not sure if there's a good option. Did I forget to uptick Wrenn? I didn't forget to uptick Wrenn, so so I guess I should have upticked it, but what I'm thinking here is if I crack the fetch land, they're gonna kill my Saga in response and get to use that mana. So I would rather crack the fetch land on my opponent's turn. But I guess I did mess up because I got that far, but I was also just supposed to take up the Wrenn anyways. That part was a mistake for sure. I think we'll be okay. I'm gonna needle the grinding station. We're just so ahead on cards here that it does seem to me that the way we're gonna lose this game is them comboing. Looks like they're gonna maybe Unholy Heat my Wrenn. That's fine. I've got 2 more Wrenns. Silent. Here's to 18 more months of Wrenn and Six. Hell yeah. Harvard Yard, 30 months. Can I flash the deck list in the client? Should make us cruise down. You can go to the they're killing my Nihil Spellbomb? What in the world? I'm not gonna draw a card. I need a card here. Oh, I guess I shrink the Tarmogoyf by 1. But then it grows with the Saga in the yard. What am I missing? What is like literally what is happening here? I guess them picking up the Saga now. They didn't kill the Saga. My thoughts on post deck? I think the Breach deck is great. I've been saying this for a long time. I think Jesse, Corey Ross have been doing really well with it. I think it's I think that these kind of like combo decks, these like powerful decks with combo finishes are very good against 4-color Omnath. 4-color Omnath is usually so weak to these powerful combos and getting access to like such efficient. Yeah, I mean if they get explosives here, I don't really mind. I don't know. It's just like they're so slow for them. Okay. Should be ultimating the Wrenn this turn, though. Streambreaker's down. Yeah, I've heard Streambreaker's down. There's not like a button I can push to fix it. I know I get frustrated by it, too. The only 4-color matchup lost to be a version, yeah, for sure. And so, and also, of course, your curve is so low. You get to steal games with Ragavan. You have a lot of like, your deck's just full. Your deck's just full of good cards in a 2-card combo. It's awesome. Will Yogg evolve? Still solid upon Dominaria release. I cannot imagine that Yawgmoth in its current form or like slight upgrades via standard set releases is going to be a bad option anytime soon. Yeah, I agree with that, Simon. Okay, dead Goyf, but I'm ultimating this Wrenn next turn. What do you think of a hero version of this deck that plays 1/2 Valakut, Mountain Mana Base, and Reclaimer instead of Ragavan? I dislike it. I've played Reclaimer instead of Ragavan in this list. I'm really not a fan. Yeah, just really not a fan, I guess. So I think I'm going to be double Thoughtseizing this turn. At least one Thoughtseize. Get the Springleaf Drum. New addition to the deck. Can I Wrenn and Six and then double Thoughtseize? I can if I return a Black Source. Or I guess I can play the Blood Crypt. Let's do that. Yeah, I'm playing in a RCQ in paper this weekend. Pretty sure I know what I'm playing. Oh, I guess if I double Thoughtseize, I died a Bolt, huh? I guess I don't need to double Thoughtseize, so we'll just play a Monkey. But I played this game really weird. Breezy, 19 months, thank you. Big Coco. I played Big Coco at the last 2 RCQs. I might play it this time. So I think this time, I'm not going to say what I'll be playing in tomorrow's RCQ. Just a lie. Oh, that's even better. Yeah, I'm going to be playing 4-color Omnath. Just when I don't reveal Yorion, don't read too much into it. Try being you. People all assuming you're playing Mono Red. Yeah, I mean you could. You don't always play Mono Red though. I feel like I stopped assuming that about you after a while. Use Ragavan on the play here. Okay, up against Amulet. Can be a tough matchup. Tougher when you flood out a little bit. Well, if you hit a Dryad here, that'd be awesome. No such luck. We hit a Dryad here. Do you see Soul of Windgrace fitting in other existing shells? Someone submitted a really cool Scapeshift version of the deck. Someone earlier said hero version of this deck playing Elvish Reclaimer Valakut. I think you gotta pick a lane. You either play like the mid-range version like this, or you go all in on Scapeshift. But I do think that version looked pretty cool. So they can Titan next turn. And we didn't draw anything to stop them. You'll attack. What if they take the hit? Not taking the hit, so I think somewhat forced here to cycle the Spellbomb and search for Terminate or Thoughtseize. Ding, 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 ding. And that's called playing to your outs, chat. And this is going to be called your opponent top deck's Primeval Titan anyways. Okay, so second Amulets. They can make a Saga token, but they have to do it main phase here. And then I might Needle there. Oh, sorry, Needle's on the main deck. Shout out to the Brainstone that we lost, huh? Guess I have to Nihil Spellbomb. Hate it. I mean, what are you gonna do? Just this flooded, right? Stream Deck, I know the Stream Deck is down. I can let me try to get this into a Goldfish link. Okay, so we need to draw. Tarmogoyf Wave might be even a little too small here. Kind of just need to draw Soul, I guess. Thoughtseize is probably the worst spell we could draw. I guess it's still a spell. Soul of Windgrace would be really good. Wrenn and Six. I guess I'm going to crack my treasure token so that I can play the Saga this turn. Marv got it? Oh, awesome. Thank you, mod team. Shout out. Holy shit. Still super behind. Likely going to lose this game. Why no main deck Pyrite Spellbomb? I hate the main deck Pyrite Spellbomb. The whole purpose of Pyrite Spellbomb being in the deck is so that you can kill Sanctifier in fact. That in my mind, that is the reason to play Pyrite Spellbomb. And just sideboard it, because that's when Sanctifier in fact is going to show up. Oh, sorry, I forgot about our hero Giganta. Man. Still losing anyways. Not even Giganta can save us. I haven't lost to like Urza Saga beatdown out of Titan in a while. Okay, so bring in the Alpine Moons, all the rest of the Boseijus. Usually bring in Turok as well. Could Needle TOS, but I don't think so. I'm going to be cutting... I guess maybe I bring in the Needle since I'm kind of low on Urza Saga targets in this matchup. Soul, thank you for 2 months. Appreciate ya. I mean, Needling TOS is not that bad. We cut the Squee. Gonna cut a Den. I'm gonna cut the second Inquisition and probably the. I guess I could probably should cut a Soul because I'm bringing in 2 Turoks also. This looks pretty clean. Yeah, Stream Decker down is definitely on the Aspiring Spike Bingo card. Is Sanctifier even that big of an issue with Saga tokens to go? If it is enough of an issue that you want to play Pyrite Spellbomb against them, You know, it's also like the Sanctifier Invec. Ooh, triple Ragavan. Mulligan. The Sanctifier Invec very often will come with a Colossus Hammer attached to it. You know. Okay, let's keep this hand. Can put back the drum. No, she's not playing the card Spell Tithe Enforcer. Isn't that a white card? What could make Abundant Harvest playable in green mid-range? So I've liked Abundant Harvest in very few decks in Modern. Abundant Harvest I think is good in decks that want to be keeping a very low land count. I think Abundant Harvest is good in decks that care about casting instants and sorceries. And so far, like really the only deck I've found that really meets that qualification is our Prowess variants. Wow, pretty bad hand for my opponent. I might Alpine Moon their Gruul Turf. I think I like that. Obviously bad if they have a Saga, but surely they wouldn't be sandbagging a Saga here. So they were either sandbagging Saga or Amulet. They drew one of these two this turn, possibly. It must have been Amulet. It must have been Amulet that they drew for turn, because they absolutely would have played it earlier against a discard spell deck. So my Titan opponent was sandbagging Urza Saga, that they almost always play on turn 1. In this deck. Odd that they would sandbag the Urza Saga in this spot. A bit sus that they would sandbag this Urza Saga here. Two more Dryads gone. I don't know, like, I feel like in some moments like this, it's just very obvious, or maybe not obvious, but like, it's just so easy to deduce that they sandbagged the Saga there, and the only reason to sandbag Saga is if you know about the Alpine Moon. I don't know, it's like you always cast the Amulet on turn 1 against the discard deck especially, but, you know, my opponent also went to discard instead of casting an Amulet, so they definitely drew Amulet, which means 100% they were sandbagging Saga. It's just, I don't know. You gotta make it a little less obvious sometimes. Ghosters. Okay, so they only have one Dryad in the deck. I think I'm pretty happy to push the construct. Could needle the Saga. Probably a bit awkward with my Saga in my hand. I do think I'm pretty interested in, like, establishing the Rinblum, but probably don't need to get a land back this turn. Maybe I'll name Slayer Stronghold. I think I like that. It's just not Slayer. Well played, Magic Online. Oh, Slayer's... Okay. The apostrophe is after the S. I see. Well played me, not knowing grammar, huh? Well played me, not graduating college. I've been liking goblins a lot. Rock, give me the 19 months, appreciate ya. I guess I should have needled Chandra Awakened Inferno. Can they deal damage to Planeswalkers? They can -6. I think I'm just gonna get the Emblem. I will play the Saga though. Rabbit, 4 months, thank you. I had to retape the Lucy cam. I guess I could just bring the standing desk up some. And point this camera down. Okay. Dryad number 4. That being said, I can retrace a Fatal Push next turn. So no more Dryads in the deck. What a weird game, huh? I guess, sorry, I should be, oh sorry, that's not the... Alright, I'll throw up the Handhider. And then Athena, or yeah, Lucy already left the chair. Thinking Springleaf Drum. I put it like very clearly doesn't have a Titan in hand. I don't think I'm supposed to be. I don't think that I'm ever really supposed to be Thoughtseizing this turn. I just attack them. Also, this Chandra doesn't do anything. Oh, I guess if they minus the Chandra, I make a token, they cast Titan, I lose, so I should kill the Chandra. Wrenn and Spear? I think it's better to hold up mana for tokens / terminate. Oh yeah, I need to change the mic, thank you. It's so weird that it does this. Test. What did opponent do to bring the Handhider? They revealed that they were sandbagging Urza Saga the way the game played. It was, you had to deduce it, but they went turn 1, Slayer Stronghold, pass, no Amulet. Turn 2, Gruul Turf, pick up a land, go to discard. So if they had Amulet, they would have definitely played it that turn to not go to discard, untap their land, whatever. Alpine Moon their Gruul Turf, thinking that they didn't have Saga because they didn't play it earlier. Then, on turn 3, they played Saga Amulet, which means 100% that they drew Amulet for turn, and then 100% means that they were sandbagging Saga. The only reason to sandbag Saga that game is to play around Alpine Moon, which makes it very, very likely that they're ghosting here. Obviously, never 100%, but they could have drawn Saga on turn 2 and Amulet on turn 3, no faith. If they draw Saga on turn 2, they're supposed to play Saga on turn 2 there. They're not supposed to go Gruul Turf, Gruul Turf, go to discard. You might be right. Maybe they made a mistake, but at the very least, this is what I've deduced, and this is what feels very likely to me. But I could be wrong. Let's keep this. Let's put back the Heat. We're kind of far away from Delirium. Like, yeah, you are right. If they exactly drew the Saga on turn 2 and they misplayed, then they weren't ghosting. So yes, you're right. They're not 100% to be ghosting here. That's definitely true. It's at least enough for me to throw up the Handhider. At least enough this turn for me to throw up the Handhider. Pretty sure I'm supposed to be playing this turn. Is Soul of Windgrace not worth it without a payoff like Land Saga? Could be better enough value engine with Wrenn. you should be playing Urza Saga if you're playing Soul of Windgrace, I think. I don't think there's much reason not to. Besides, like, you know, you dislike Urza Saga. Which, you know, fair enough. Select the clue token here. Black bar to hide opponent's hand. Alright, I'm gonna Boseiju their amulet here. Yeah, again, my opponent is either misplaying or ghosting, and again, I don't like to, you know, baselessly accuse, but I do think we've like conclusively deducted that one of those two things is happening here, and when that's the case, I would just rather throw up the hand hider. You know what I mean? I would just rather hold up the hand hider. If we know that our opponent is either punting or ghosting. Oh, sorry, that was a punt. I knew that was their last card. A little bit frazzled. Okay, so they can double bounce land, kill the tracker, so I'm out of my value. Big draw step for me. Not that you guys know that. Alright, I have my swamp in play. I'm casting Turok. Cast Turok, get the Simic Growth Chamber out of their hands. They have a lot of top decks that are really scary. Pretty lights, 29 months, thank you. I have a lot of things that answer the Dryad here. Ooh. Oh, I guess you can't see my hand, huh? Would you do something good? I just need to think about the rest of my turn. Yeah, I'll just go make a Saga token. Have to get Shadowspear. And something good we drew was Alpine Moon. I'm going to name Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle, and then I'm going to, I think, Needle to Laria West rather than equip my Shadowspear. I guess I can still equip, hold on. I can still equip, but I would be committing to taking 2. I think that's fine, since I'm going to just get to use the mana here to get lifelink on my guy. Okay, so that was the draw for turn. Decides not to attack with the Dryad. I get their Gruul Turf out of their hands. Get in with the Construct token. Jump block with the Grazer. Put my opponent down to 18. Last card, Ragavan. Need to not forget about Giganta. New hand hider dropped. Yeah, I've had so many people. Oh, that's a good one. I've had so many good hand hiders made over the years, and I keep I keep losing them somehow when I rebuild all the scenes. Okay, so let's move the Shadowspear over to Turok so that we have a slightly better attack. Notably, Hanowar Battlements was a kind of scary draw, so now if they Titan, they get to haste the Titan. But with Valakut Alpine Moons, I'm, you know, a little bit less worried. Oh, I guess they could get Bounce and Boseiju, huh? I think this is a win. Got 10, they're at 10, I'm killing their blocker. Okay, not a win. Fuck. Yeah, I would have needed Teleri West instead of Boseiju because I have a lot more Boseijus in my deck. I think is a good enough reason, at least. And also, like, yeah. I think that's good enough reason. And Teleri West is very scary here for my opponent. Giganta coming to the rescue. I drew Fatal Push for turn. My opponent drew Dismember. They're still dead though. Funny that that was the draw though, like two like relevant interactive spells. Okay, let's keep this on the draw. What's the idea with Squee? Mostly I want to test it. I think in theory Squee makes a lot of sense, you know, and it's effectively an escapable Goblin Rabble Master. Ooh, I cannot. This is one of the worst hands you can have against Tron here. Things get a lot better post board with all the Boseijus, but definitely a tough matchup game one. I think I'm just getting a Triumph turn one. Nard, 4 months, thank you. Feels kind of gross. Insulting opponents unless you're playing their one green source and all green spell hand. Yeah, you might be right. You know, my evaluation might be wrong. I feel like, you know, it made sense to me. It felt like at least enough of a reason to put up the hand hider. We can move on, you know. Obviously, it's just a league. It doesn't matter that much. Okay, I see. Just please play red or black for some removal spells. Just please, and Pioneer, a format full of creature decks. Just suck it up and play a removal spell or two. It's not that hard to splash a color for, you know, Fiery Impulse, Fatal Push. And then you don't have to play Tempest Gen, which is a really, really weak card, especially when you're playing Hall of the Storm Giants Otawara. It's just, yeah, this deck I just feel like so clearly should be splashing a color and not playing Tempest Gen. I also think Spell Pierce is really good. I feel like I might play like the third Spell Pierce before the second Shore Up. On game 2. More sideboard, more Shore Ups in the sideboard is fine for the Rakdos matchup, but is Jund favored against Tron? I don't usually find it to be that bad, especially post board. Like obviously, like that was about as bad as it ever gets. We're on the draw. We have a very slow removal heavy hand. Like that is about as bad as it gets. But we get to bring in 2 Alpine Moons, 3 Boseiju. The Needle, the Turoks are good as well. I'm going to be cutting most of my removal. I'm going to be cutting my Nihil Spellbombs as well, although also the Shadowspear is awkward. It's probably fine. I don't think I need to be like getting so many like Urza Saga targets this game in this matchup. Could play 1 Pyrite Spellbomb maybe. It's not great, but you know, dealing the damage is good. Don't bring in Void Mirror, especially when you have 4 Boseiju. You're just gonna give them a forest to cast their spells all the time. Yeah, I don't love the Spellbomb. I think it's better than... I don't want to play Terminate. I don't want to play Push. You can play Heat, I guess. I don't like it that much either. Knight, 5 months. Thank you. Hi, just joined the stream, played you last match for Samla. Did you say put up the hand hider? I did put up the hand hider. My impression of your match 2, when you win Slayer Stronghold turn 1, turn 2 Gruul Turf discard, and not play Amulet, turn 3 Amulet Saga. I deduced that you drew the Amulet that turn. I think that that's pretty clear. And I felt like either you misplayed by not playing the Saga last turn, or you were stream sniping and you're playing around the Alpine Moon. So I think usually when I deduce that you're either misplaying or stream sniping, I like to put up the hand hider. If you're innocent, I apologize for, you know, putting up the hand hider and saying that you might be ghosting. No, I don't think Void Mirror is good enough when you bring in 4 Boseiju again. You're just gonna give them colored mana to cast their spells. Ooh, this was an ambitious keep. Let me take this this Karn Great Crater. I was playing around Apneo, I was stream sniping, I was watching YouTube, never on Twitch. Okay. Okay, found an expedition map. Maybe I'll hit my own Karn the Great Crater off the Ragavan. Listen, you know, I just played against the person. Obviously, it makes sense for them to come in and check the Twitch, right? Listen, we don't need to gang up. We could just move on. This is not a drama stream. Look at my account, I see I made it 5 minutes ago. Yeah, it also, okay, I don't know what's going on. I see this every once in a while. I don't really know what it means. But it does say possible ban evader on you as well. And I think that might just mean that you have a new account. I see this pop up every once in a while. I almost never address it, but I don't really know what that means either. But listen. Yeah, we can chill, it's fine. Oh, we can maybe Stirrings into Boseiju here. We have 4 Boseijus in the deck. We miss. Do I want a Den of the Bugbear or Proving Ground? I think I would take the Proving Ground. Ugh, rough. Why are you saying it puts on new accounts? Yeah, I think that's probably what's happening there. Removal spell for the Ragavan. So I'm going to Spellbomb looking for one of my 4 Boseijus or an Alpine Moon here. And I guess because I'm playing Saga, I think my opponent's very likely to go Karn Liberated, exile the Saga. So I think it makes sense to play the Ragavan also. Yeah, it's fine, Black. It's okay. It's okay. No drama. No drama. No hard feelings. It's all good, baby. Should I fetch first? Fetch before sacking the Pyrite Spellbomb? I think no, because I could draw Saga, right? Din is interesting. Just fighting through the Tron is always fun and scary. They have Karn Liberated, Oblivion Stone, Forest, and 2 mystery cards. I do have a Pithing Needle in the deck. Notably, also the... Oh no, they drew Karn the Great Creator. We have a Worm Coil? Worm Coil would be really bad. Doesn't fetch you before Spellbomb, so increase your chances to draw Saga. If you draw Saga, you can't play Saga for turn. You know what I mean? It's like it's really bad to fetch first. Or I didn't have like a fetch land. Maybe I'm misremembering what the board looked like, I guess. Okay, so I can bolt my opponent down to 9, attack for 6. Needle here. I need to bolt the Karn though. Yeah, I need to bolt the Karn. Oblivion Stone or Needle the Oblivion Stone. And then try to plan for next turn. I don't know if I'm supposed to be making a Saga token or activating Din. I guess it depends on what I draw. I feel like attacking with the Din puts the most pressure on my opponent. I'm attacking them for 6 down to 6. If they play Sundering Titan, they get to kill 3 of my lands though, but it's not like making a Saga token and getting a Needle into play is really going to make me much better against that. So I think we'll just Needle the Stone, attack, and hope to cobble together a win. Livingstone, activate this. We'll be down to 2 lands plus the Den next turn after I play my another land. So they have Sundering Titan and Karn Liberated. I don't think they can play both. They just go for the Sundering Titan. They're going to kill these 3 lands. And then I'm going to fetch my... Oh, my Triump's already in the yard. Okay. Still going to get a... I only have 1 more bolt in the deck, I think, is kind of the problem here. Could draw like Boseiju, kill Titan, draw bolts. Could draw Thoughtseize for the Karn this turn and slow them down. We'll see it. Obviously, spells are going to be key. Although if I was going to try to play 2 drawing Saga, I shouldn't have fetched like this, or drawing Written for Saga, I shouldn't have fetched like this. I might just ping them though. Yeah, it's either put a Saga in my hand or ping them. I guess I'll put Saga in my hand this turn, and they can like Karn Liberated exile my Wrenn. But then I'll have the Saga in my hand, and if they don't, I can start pinging next turn. See me in Bangkoko right now. Recommend playing 4 Channeler over Deputy Endurance. I do. I kind of want to play... I'm kind of like thinking about playing no Endurances in the deck and playing a few Deputies on the side, where I feel like the Living In matchup is pretty respected with all the Silences and Meddling Mages. I'm not sure that we need to be playing Endurance, though. Okay, they exiled the Needle. That's interesting. They pop the O-Stone, they kill 2 more of my lands, which is a bummer. I draw another land. I'm gonna play Saga for turn. I'm going to pick up my Proving Ground and cycle. And I'm going to leave a black-red because I can't Boseiju for 1 mana with no legendary creature in play. There's a castable spell, probably not going to be a very relevant one. Right, somewhat relevant. Oh, did I know about the other O-Stone? I think I did, actually. Also, this is the Springleaf Drum as a tutor target. My opponent exiles the Saga with the Karn, makes sense. Pop the O-Stone and kill 2 of my lands. What do you think about this stone? I think it's competitive. I think it's competitive. I think it has a really, really bad 4-color Omnath matchup, which always makes it kind of like a feel-bad deck to bring to a tournament. But I think that's got a pretty good matchup spread against the rest of the field. Like a good enough matchup spread to right on time Alpine Moon to be interested in playing it. Gonna keep this. We got Sundering Titan. I think they also card minus 1 time. Yeah, I'm thinking decks. Let me see. I think we. I could have sworn that we've seen this one before. The old Mindlink Mech Cephalid Constable tech. I'm not really a fan of trying to pair Cephalid Constable with Mindlink Mech. Constable is a card I really like. I really love to put up all of the Skyclaves on it. I really like to give it Exalted with Noble Hierarch. I like to put equipment on it. Mindlink Mech is interesting, but the problem with the card is of course that this card is incredibly weak if your opponent, if you don't have Mindlink Mech, or if you don't have Cephalid Constable, if your opponent kills it, if your opponent kills the, this targets when it accrues, right? Yeah, they can kill the Constable in response to the target, and it also just kind of seems like a bit too redundant, right? Where in this deck, you're able to put your all the Skyclaves on your Constable. You don't have to make really almost any like deck building concessions in order to get to do that, and it doesn't require to play the Mindlink Mechs. Of course, with I play bad decks, it's always like, well, is this why you want to play it in the first place? Because, you know, if so, it's not like you have a... Ooh. I guess I'm taking the Murktide. I don't really want to have to spellbomb them here. Oh, or I should take the Borrower. No, if their whole turn is just bouncing a Goyf, how much do I mind that? Yeah, let's take the Murktide. Don't think I mind that much. Like if this is what you want to do, Mind Link Mecha Constable, that's fine. I would recommend cutting it though. Trying to think of what I would play instead. I missed playing Toski. I don't know if I haven't been liking Toski nearly as much since Image 2 got a lot of exile-based removal. It just recently got a lot worse with Leyline Binding being printed. But you can probably play one. I might play like 2 Jace the Mind Sculptor instead. Oh, I would play Teferi Time Raveler actually. I would play like maybe 4 Teferi Time Raveler over the Mind Link mech. But then you might have to change your username. And then as far as the sideboard goes, 4 Path to Exile should be 4 Solitude, or you should have some Solitudes in the main deck too. So maybe like 1 Jace, 1 Toski, 3 Teferi, 2 Solitude main, 2 Solitude side, something like that. Maybe 3 Solitude main, 1 Solitude side. I'm not really sure what the Sanctifier in deck is trying to target exactly. I would maybe play the 3rd Forge Tinder over the 1st Sanctifier. I'm just so high on Forge Tinder, especially in decks like this that are so weak to red removal spells. I'd also probably be interested in playing Force of Negation over Dovin's Veto. I think that might be a change I recommend. And like playing another Force over the Teague, maybe over the Gataki too. I don't think the Gataki's that necessary. Windgrace has been really good when we've drawn it, although admittedly we just haven't drawn the card that often. Why does Forge Tinder see so much play with Firewalker? Firewalker seems like more of a blowout versus red decks. Forge Tinder is 1 mana, so it blocks Ragavan on the draw on turn 1, which is really relevant. And it also stops Fury's ETB, which is one of the biggest problems for creature decks, is Fury's ETB. And, like, Firewalker, like, you know, it's more so for, like, Ragavan and Fury decks than, like, just burn. Like, if, like, Forge Tinder is just for burn, really. I could maybe pop the Spellbomb here to play around a Murktide. But the problem is I just shrink the Tarmogoyf a little bit too small. And they don't appear to have the Murktide either. Do they have a sorcery in their yard? I don't think they have a sorcery in the yard. So they must have Unholy Heat, right? Is there any way to play around Unholy Heat here? Not really. I think I'm just going to Thoughtseize, play Tarmogoyf. Have we seen a Soul yet this league? I don't think we've even drawn it this league. Maybe we have, like, once. I think Leyline Binding goes into Wilderness Wreck. It can. Definitely can. Why not Spellbomb activation? I shrink my Goyfs. I shrink my Goyfs down to 4 power. Oh, I guess that's fine. And I turn off... I could Spellbomb to turn off the heat. Oh, duh. Sorry. Sorry. Oops. Okay, up a game though. Anyways, we haven't drawn any of the Dominaria cards. Yeah, sorry, I was supposed to crack the Spellbomb. Is Bloodbraid Elf good anymore? Soul seems so much better than Bloodbraid Elf to me. I've really been liking the Soul. Needle against explosives is fine, but did they? I think they only bring explosives if they saw Saga. I don't think they saw Saga. Although no, they did see Nihil Spellbomb, so they should know Saga. So I should bring in the Needle. I think I'm cutting the Springleaf Drum. Tracker's kind of dopey. You're going to go down to 1 Thoughtseize, 1 Inquisition. We drawn Soul once so far today. When did we draw it? We may have drawn it and not cast it today. Oh yeah, we had it in. We were on the draw against Tron. Our hand was like I think 3 lands, 3 removal spells, or like 2 removal spells, 1 Nihil Spellbomb, Soul of Windgrace or something. On the draw against Greentron. Have I cast Squee? We have not drawn the Squee. I'm mostly just interested in playtesting it. I think that the card is interesting. It's Goblin Rabble Master mixed with Uro. It's Goblin Rabble Master with Escape. Which is very, very interesting. Has Windgrace felt like a win more card? Yeah, win more matches. I don't think so. I think that in Jund Saga you are wanting to play grindy 3 and 4 mana threats. Like this is just a card that you are wanting to play. Or sorry, this is just a deck where you want to play grindy 3 and 4 mana threats. And so I'm definitely of the opinion that I don't feel like it feels like a win more card. You know, like. If you're not playing Soul of Windgrace, you're playing Bloodbraid Elf. If you're not playing Soul of Windgrace, you're playing Fable of the Mirror Breaker, which are all slow grindy cards. And for me, and my evaluation so far, Soul has seen like the best of all of these. I am going to be getting Forest Swamp with my lands here to try to best play around Blood Moon. How good is Race for the Curve? Or is it better at holding up activations? On curve? I mean, no, you always slam it on turn 4. Like, if Soul comes down and gets you ideally back a Saga or any land that dies to removal spell, you know, you 2 for 1 to your opponent. And it has to die immediately, too. Or it's going to take over the game. Can I move it to the left a tiny bit? Yeah. I don't know how the scenes keep getting just, like, slightly messed up. Okay, hers pretty good here. They main phase the activation, which does not play around Wrenn and Six very well at all. A little more to the left? I feel like it looks good to me. Oh, we drew the Squee, and of course we draw the Squee when my opponent has a licensed Terrace in play, but we drew it. Damn it. It's not even like letting me grab it anymore. Hold on. I feel like that's too much. Ooh, sorry, I should have been to F6. It's twice in a row. Although, no, if I spellbomb them here... No, the Goyf will be a 2-3, but then they can Hearse to kill the Goyf. Never mind. Never mind. Although now... Hold on. Now that there's a creature in my graveyard... I believe I can beat an Unholy Heat. Oh, but I can't, though, because they get to Hearse end of turn here. So I should just Spellbomb them, I think. Is that too bad with the Tarmogoyf? Maybe it's too bad with the Tarmogoyf. Did you do a deck tech, Jinji? I must have missed it. Yeah, I did miss it. Thank you. Grixis Kitten. Kitchen. I was like, why is this Grixis Kitten? Okay, now the Tarmogoyf is dying to any red removal spell. Maybe it is just time to hedge against Murktide a little bit. Okay, so this is the Time Civ deck playing Expressive Iteration over Unearth, not playing Goblin Engineer, which I think is the main reason to be red, and playing Galvanic Blast at the main for more removal. And playing Ragavan also. I don't think I'm a huge fan of playing Iteration in the deck over Unearth. I think Unearth is really important in playing it. Also, like cutting Emery. Like Emery is such an important card. It's hard. I think Emery is better than Ragavan. I think it's better than Iteration. It's like both a 1-mana creature and a card advantage engine. And Unearth is like such an important part of the package with your Ledger Shredder and your oh my gosh, I'm all over the place today. And your Imri milling your graveyards, very important with the manufactor. Okay, so my opponent's tapped out. Let's jam the Squee. Sorry, I hope that wasn't too loud. Hope that didn't break the mic either. Yeah, I don't know. So like this, with the food deck being such like a synergistic pile of cards, a card that like needs everything to come together and work really well. I don't think that Iteration Blast are good additions to the deck. I think you've diluted the synergies here. I would prefer to play Goblin Engineer in Grixis over Ragavan, 4 Manufacturer, 4 Imri, 4 Unearth, and so you're -8, +1, +2. I guess you're -11, +4 Engineer, 4 Unearth, 1 Manufacturer, 2 Imri is how I would build the deck for the Grixis version. Yeah, this is the first time I've cast the new Squee. It's kind of sad the first time I've drawn it is when my opponent has Hearse in play, but it is what it is. Test. It's okay. My OBS sees it says that I have volume here. You don't want to be playing Blood Moon, I think, in your 3-color Urza Saga deck. This seems way too ambitious. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like this looks to me like someone who's playing a lot of Grixis Shadow, playing a lot of Murktide, maybe playing some Breach, and trying to just play like a lot of like powerful generic modern cards. But you're playing these cards in a deck that really needs each card to be individually synergistic, not individually powerful. At least that's how I like to think of it, at least. Okay, so I'm going to go, before they draw for turn, push here. Can we fit a Dragon Sakai from Eldrin in the set? Corvold is not a playable modern card, though. You know, one thing too about like when you have these Galvanic Blasts in the main, you know, I think that you're usually very able to like lean on Asmo for your removal, and then lean on the fact that you're providing a ton of early game threats to like not need to worry so much about having like traditional creature removal spells like Galvanic Blast or whatever. I imagine the sideboard. I guess here's one thing I really dislike about playing Grixis over Esper is you lose the ability to hedge against Hammer Time, where Hammer Time is a very scary matchup without the 4 Prismatic Endings in the sideboard for Sanctifier and Vec, and you know the rest of their deck too. So it may even be good to just like play 1 fetchable white source and play 4 Prismatic Endings in the sideboard. That might be fine. But I'm definitely scared of the matchup with this build. Let's see, my sideboard was... So I had an extra land in the sideboard for... Oh, Gigantha check. Oh, there's the Gigantha. So you have it. I was playing 1 extra land to bring in against like decks that were going to be very good at answering my Saga. Although I felt like that was not... Yeah, I'm playing around Spell Pierce. I'm playing around Spell Pierce by not bolting, chat. My opponent's under so much pressure, I just don't really need to make them have it. No, don't make them have it. Just... Why do I need to bolt now? This is definitely a spot to play around it. My opponent has no threats in play. They're super dead on board. This turn, I get to go lightning bolt them. If they counter this, they're dying to my creatures, you know? This is absolutely not a spot to make them have it. Yeah, I would play something more similar to the Esper sideboard. I feel like even in this Grixis, splashing for ending makes sense to me. I think you're going to have a really hard time with the Hammer Time with Matt without it. You can play like a couple Terminates. You can play like Terminate over Bone Shards. And oh, what if you have the white source in the sideboard? You can have the white source in the sideboard for when you bring in the Prismatic Endings, and you can also bring in like, you know, Godless Shrine or whatever when you want to cut Sagas. That could be interesting too. Okay, get a mulligan this. Interesting hand on the draw. I'm not like super happy to have to play my Triumph turn 1, but I probably shouldn't put it back, huh? I might actually put back the Saga with this hand, just be in on like Wrenn and Six, Tireless Tracker. Where are you getting Goldfish? Stream Decker is down, so... Ooh. Stream Decker is down, so we have just the Goldfish link. They're playing Gigantha, Blood Crypt. Could actually be the food deck that we just looked at. No, it's not that. I think I need to get at my land with Wrenn and Six. I can't really afford to not do that. Oh no, they're gonna have Drown Up though. Shoot. I guess I take one of the 2 drowns anyways. Gonna bolt this now. Not let them surveil into lands or threats or anything. And hope to draw a land. Thoughtseize was their top deck. So interesting that they would choose to cast Thoughteize this turn instead of holding up Drown. They're going to take the Wrenn and Six, I imagine. Maybe we'll get Thoughtseize bugged. That would be perfect. A lot of good draws here. Push is fine. Have that now have an answer to the Shadow. There it is. Heat, Drown, Shadow, Kolaghan's Command. What do you use for Graveyard Counter Hate in Phoenix? Prismatic Ending is in the main deck, which answers a lot of it, and then I think I am supposed to play the tracker. Prismatic Ending in the main deck answers a lot of it, and could also put Gigantha in the hand there, I guess. And in the sideboard, you have Blossoming Calm for Endurance, and situationally cards like Flusterstorm for like Surgical Extraction or you know, other forms of Graveyard Hate. Land will be really good. There's a land. It's really good. We get to cast the Soul of Windgrace for the first time this league. Don't get to make a token, but we do get to make a token next turn if if the soul doesn't die to the Drown, which I guess it will. Taking the Mire also turns off Delirium for a turn. I do think you want to slam this because we know they have Kolaghan's Command. I don't want them to get to discard it though. Yeah, I know it does die to Drown, but they have to main phase it too because or you know, cast it before they get to Saga. But I do think we're still supposed to do this because of the Kolaghan's Command in their hand. We got a 2-for-1. The Drown's always going to get something this game. I'm going to get my Gigantha. Pass back. Daisy, 14 months. Thank you. Second time I cast it, you cast it against Breach. Oh, right. I forgot that I cast it against Breach. We were so ahead by that point in the game. I think I cast the Gigantha this turn, and then likely just take this hit from the Channeler. I can also crack the Spellbomb and block it, but I feel like I want to set up for a turn where I can crack the Spellbomb next turn and block it. My opponent now has Kolaghan's Command, the ability to make the Shadow a 5/5. They have 1 mystery card as well. They have 1 mystery card as well. Do you like Affinity, Aggro, and Urza right now? I think I prefer the Urza variant, but yeah, I do think that Affinity is certainly a somewhat playable deck. So it looks like they're getting a... Is this Upkeep Kolaghan's Command? Draw Step Kolaghan's Command. Could command themselves 7/7, which would have been lethal. Make you block with Gigantha. It's not lethal because I can just Spellbomb them to shrink the Channeler. So now, sorry, I should have let the Surveil happen first. Just double checking that it's right to discard the Shadowspear. Seems like it is. Discard Shadowspear, terminate this, attack with my hero, Gigantha. They would have blown up the token and made Shadow 7/7. Could have shrink the Channeler, but had to block Shadow. No, I wouldn't have, because I would have gone to 9, right? Because I was at Or sorry, I would have gone to like 2. I was at 10. I took 3 from the Channeler down to 7. If the Shadow's a 7/7, the Channeler is a 1/1. I go to 2, right? I'm not dead. What am I missing? Six card types, despite getting Spellbomb that last turn. Although I don't know that they want to attack here. Oh, they did this post-combat. They did this post-combat. I see. So we fire up the Den, and they have to have a 1-mana red removal spell. They have it. I could not trade here, but I think that's just too bad against them having a removal spell. Oh, did we got 3 Hellfresh things today? That's awesome. Thank you, everybody. Very cool. Still have like a couple weeks on that. Let's hold this for Tracker. 3 cards in opponent's hand. One of them is a Bobble. $11 Shadow, a little bit out of the Heat range. Notably, Bolt or Push, better than Heat here. This card in Silex worth putting in sideboard Dice Factory. I think it's too much of a nombo. You can just never kill your own stuff. Okay, tough stuff. We're gonna bring in. Although I do think this matchup's like pretty good overall. I'm gonna bring in the Hearses. For some reason, my brain is telling me that there's something important to Needle in this matchup. I don't think that that's true. I guess Explosives used to be a big dynamic of this matchup, that they would be looping Explosives with Luris, and that's definitely not part of the matchup's dynamic anymore. But they still have Explosives in the sideboard, and I just don't know if they're going to bring them in when they also have access to Dress Down and Alpine Moon to answer my Saga tokens. Yeah, I think I'm not bringing in the Needle. I think you used to back when Luris was legal, and I think you're not supposed to now. I think this looks like a pretty good sideboard config for me. Deck for Cranky. Esther said that she wanted to do some cooking streams. She definitely has plans to. We'll see. She's been pretty busy lately. All right, another day, another blue-black pile. Evolved Sleeper seems like a fine standard card. It definitely does not seem like a card that I'm very interested in playing in Pioneer. Same thing with Suspicious Stowaway. I think that this is a card that I generally evaluate to be underpowered in the format, and a card that is one I want to be that interested in playing. Channeler is also a card that is... Channeler's probably fine, but Channeler's particularly good in like the Modern Bant Company deck, where you have Ephemerate Company Soul Herder to really, really power it up, and you don't have any of those things in this list. It's just, maybe a little underwhelming. Kalitas is a really good 4-drop, but I'll also say that it's weird to me to see Rankle in this list, where Rankle is a card I usually associate with just aggro blacklist, and this is very much a much slower list. Take the Inquisition here, try to get them to play a Channeler into my Wrenn and Six ping. Your curve also generally seems to be too high. You have 4 5-drops, and you have 4 4-drops. I think it's just a bit high. I'd like to see ideally 3 4-drops, 2 5-drops, something like that. Okay, they don't go for it, but I do get to Hearse at least. Sideboard Gearhulks for the grindy matchups, TM. Okay, so let me go, I think, just fetch Triome, Wrenn and Six plus, and if they drown the Wrenn, I can just Hearse my Thoughtseize. They know not to take the bait. I would probably say Invoke Despair is your best 5-drop. You could do something like 3 Cletus, 2 Invoke Despair. I think Cletus is really good. You could play 2 Cletus, 2 Invoke Despair, get up to 4 Lilianas, cutting the Kaitos, maybe also. But I do agree. Oh man, just a concession. It's a good matchup, I think. But yeah, it's tough. Like, I think like these like 10 cards are all like pretty bad, and like the issue is like this deck is not as good as red black. Like the blue cards are just not nearly as good as the red cards. And I think that that's like kind of clear and apparent to see when looking at the list here. And you have too many dopey 6-drops on the sideboard. You don't have enough cheap answers for mono green, like Disdainful Stroke, Aether Gust. I don't see, you have like 2 Extinction Events. Extinction Events really good. You could potentially main deck one and be a bit more controlling. But the deck list definitely feels very all over the place to me. Would it be better to cast Wrenn before fetching? If you cast Wrenn before fetching and they have Lightning Bolt, they can bolt the Wrenn in response to the fetch. So it's better to fetch first. I'm going to keep this on the draw. We're a 24 land deck. We have 4 1-mana spells. We're on the draw in a matchup where you don't want to mulligan that much. I think it's an easy keep, or relatively easy keep. Rave, this 8 months, thank you. Yeah, so for deck techs like that, where it's like, the archetype seems to be like worse than the mono red, or the deck seems to be worse than mono red, which is the same archetype. I would, I listed off like the 20 cards I would change or something. It's tough to like just completely rebuild from there, when I think the list needs just like so much work. But hold on. I think I'm just gonna Ragavan. Obviously, very likely to get removed, but if they're just on a creature to block or more discard spells, getting through is just the game. Why Drum? Okay, so I've had Brainstone over Drum at my first draft, and my general thinking in wanting to add the Springleaf Drum to the deck was that when you're playing Soul of Windgrace, all of these, if you're flooding, which is the reason to play Brainstone is to like reduce the flood, you now have a use for those lands because you could just discard them to Soul. And so that's why I'm thinking that you're wanting to okay, let's take the drown here. That's why I'm thinking that you want to play the Springleaf Drum. So you need 4 Urza Saga targets, and I think that also Springleaf Drum will help you go like Soul of Windgrace and activate in the same turn sometimes. I think it makes sense. Definitely looking bad here, though. Oh, they drew Bobble. That's pretty good. Would love to draw a land here. They discard Ragavan. Their hand is Drown in the Loch and Death Shadow, and then new card off of the Bobble. At 15. I do draw a land. I think I would like to go... No, we should terminate. This way, if my opponent plays Shadow, I can potentially set up for Wrenn and Six, return Mire, cast Fatal Push in the same turn. Any brewing with Maria, think about Urza and 5 and 8 Thopter combo. I mean, it's just so awkward to me that that card doesn't like let you tap tokens for mana. I haven't done any brewing with it. The Paradox Engine, I watched Doom play the Paradox Engine Maria deck last night. It looked okay. I don't like that deck in Pioneer is so fragile to creature removal, but I digress. She's definitely on my list of like interesting, hard to evaluate cards, though. I think that, you know, as time moves on, I might come to evaluate Maria as being more powerful than I currently do. I think just pushing this now. Any changes to Mono Blue Affinity 8 cast? I haven't I played it like a month ago or something, but I haven't made like changes since then, I think. Two Shadows and 2 Kolaghan's Commands. Let's take a Shadow. Then Mire hand, play Goyf, play tap, then pass. Yeah, I do think the card has potential, but it's also like in Thopter combo, with the deck doesn't need Urza 5 through 8. You know what I mean? Not that this card is that, but when I've played the Thopter deck in the past, that definitely doesn't feel like what the deck is missing is more Urza, as it feels like it's missing speed. I know they have a Death Shadow in their hand, but I think it makes the most sense to just get in there. Yeah, historically a really good match, or pretty good matchup. They did draw another Shadow, huh? I drew another land. It's about as bad as it gets. I can put them to... No, I can kill them, sorry. I have Bolt plus Den plus Ping. Close game. Or maybe not that close. Looked like it was almost close. So we went 4-1, losing a bullshit game to Tron. I'm gonna play at least one more with John. I want to form more of an opinion. Ooh, Jin and Blood Moon. And Magda, my commander. I'm gonna form a bit more of an opinion. Just didn't really draw. I just haven't been drawing Soul that often, but I...